Hey everybody, Will Fix here. I got a good video for you. Actually, it's a lost video that I couldn't find the original. So I'll give a shout out to where I did find a piece of this video by, well, it's an interview with Quincy Jones, and he's talking about Corda, XLM, and XRP. And it's so cool to see the perspective. This one is from back a little bit, but it's valuable. So I'm bringing it to you because of that. You know, you need to see it. It's still very relevant. I love to hear Quincy Jones talk, but listen, watch out in the comments. You know how people are trying to scam in the comments. If you like this kind of stuff, like and subscribe. Do me a solid there. Check out the links in the description. There's some cool stuff in there. If you need to use Uphold or want to use Uphold as an exchange, there's a link for that in there. It's a new link. But anyway, check that out. Hey, let's get right into it. I want you to see some of this Quincy Jones. Hope you enjoy it. And I'll do a quick close at the end of the article. Hey, if you missed the Decent Wallet promotion that they had, it looks like they're continuing the 40% off promotion for another 18 days. Listen, it ends January the 3rd, but what they're doing is giving you 40% off plus 150 of star coins. This is a fantastic deal. I love my wallet. I use the Decent Wallet. Look at this. It's normally $159, so 30% off if you buy one at $109. If you buy two, you get 40% off, and you get both of them for $190. You also have the opportunity, if you desire, to get the cards. The all-in-one card wallet and backup card package is $28, 30% off for that. The benefit too that you get the percentage off, plus you get 150 of star coins by submitting your address in the biometric wallet. So once you get your Decent Wallet, you fill this form out on their site, and then they'll send you 150 of those coins, which makes it a better promotion than what they just had. So if you missed that last promotion, I would grab a hold of this one. And listen, Decent Wallet didn't have that problem that you just saw with Ledger, where $484,000 was stolen, and they didn't, they failed to take the credentials away from a past employee, and so somebody used that and hacked and stole a bunch of people's money. Decent Wallet didn't have that happen. So get you one of these now. I really love mine because I don't have to punch in my codes. I can use my thumbprint, but if your thumb got cut off and you lost your thumb, you can put in your password. So this is a good time for you to get one. Found this on the YouTube page, Digital Perspectives. Go ahead and check them out. Let's get right into Quincy Jones. Here we go.
I mean, a million things in what he's saying as we move through this material. You're going to want each and every one of them is going to help you understand exactly how the new financial system is laid out. This young man is extremely brilliant. Listen to this.
For this strategy, I call it the basic liquidity algorithm, and actually I have a piece of code that executes this, but you can actually do this by hand if you really wanted to. It's really not a 10-step process, but there are 10 small parts to it. Okay. But what you end up doing is you go to an illiquid market, presumably on the XRP ledger, and the reason why this only works on XRP. You may be going, well, why don't I do this on Robinhood or on E-Trade or on Coinbase? This only works with XRP. It only works because XRP can do transactions for so cheap that you can make. So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with every XRP is made up of 1 million drops, and every transaction is 12 drops. Well, if every transaction is 12 drops, including an exchange on the XRP exchange, if it cost me 12 drops to do an exchange, but I made 100,000 drops, well, I may have made only 1/10 of an XRP, but I got that guaranteed profit. Now, it doesn't matter about how little of a profit margin that is. What matters is how many trades are being made at that profit margin. That's why I have a bot that does this automatically.
That is a huge point he's making right there. Now think about this and scale that opportunity for a central bank, right? Not just somebody who wants to set up a bot, but scale this understanding of that point and that fact he's making to the tune of central banks and the trillions of dollars that moves every day, and that they can make that little fraction even in a lot of cases because it costs so little to actually use XRP. Keep listening. This gets better and deeper in just a few minutes.
But what you end up doing is you end up placing trades on both sides of the trade. And it sounds kind of silly because you go, wait, what do you mean on both sides? And it's kind of this weird thing where you take things out of dollars. But and actually, before I even get too into this, one of the biggest things, and I'll kind of get into this here, I actually don't value anything in dollars anymore. I either value it in XRP or I value it in gold. I actually believe the entire dollar system is how should I put it? A
Ponzi scheme.
It's worse than that. It's almost like a bank structured scheme to enrich the people that manage the money while impoverishing the people that use the money. It's almost.
And listen to what he says. He is spot on here. Listen to how he lays this out. This is exactly the way it works.
It's like this, right? The banks tell you to put your money in the bank and save it. But you put your money in the bank for them to buy assets, for them to get rich off of, just for your money to lose its value so they can pay you back with cheaper dollars. See what
this young man is brilliant. I mean, he gets it.
I mean, you don't want to necessarily call it exactly a scam. It's one of those, you get the shortest end of the stick.
And that's exactly right. You do get the shortest end of the stick. And again, I am skipping over straight fire, but I want to get to the real meat here. And I'm going to let this play. He's going to talk about the Sum app by We'd Say When from XRP Labs, and he's going to explain consensus, and he's going to talk about how XRP is really for the banking system. Listen to this.
So remember I told you before how XRP is sort of set up in a banker type set way. So this app would be really, really good if you wanted to. The way you would issue your own token isn't the same way you would issue like an ECR20 token. But
and again, he's talking about the XRP Labs We'd Say When Sum app.
It's a lot easier than trying to go out and code it yourself. You see what I mean?
Okay.
So you can make your own token and issue it to yourself. Issuing it to other people is a little bit more complicated, but you can create a token very easily. And the reason why that is like I said, it's set up in such a banking manner to where you almost need an entire payment platform with accounts to do this, because in a system like that, you can already hook up the XRP accounts, the liquidity needed, but from one account to another account, XLM ends up working a lot better because I don't need in XRP, I need to have rights to not only the account that's issuing the token, but the account that's accepting the token, where XLM, I don't. And the reason why XRP is like that is, like I said, if you were running a banking organization, if I was running the Federal Reserve, and let me show you a good scale version of this. If I was running the Federal Reserve and I wanted to have absolute control over the amount of money being issued in the economy,
listen to
all
this.
you have to do is basically say, okay, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Chase, all you banks, whatever, we're going to set you up with these primary crypto address accounts, and then under those accounts, you're going to have all of your user accounts under them, and then under the user accounts, you can issue the tokens under them. So what ends up happening is right off the bat, all the money that's sitting in the banking system would already move over onto a digital blockchain system without them actually having to fit around and try to actually move that money over and be able to get the maximum amount of liquidity in the shortest amount of time. But then what ends up happening is because you have to have the rights to be able to move the token, anybody that wants to make a payment, it'll seem like they're making a normal payment. But in reality, what's happening is you're making a payment. Your bank is basically signing the transaction to go from one bank to another bank. And you basically have to have a bunch of banks sign transactions between each other. Now, why is this important? One, you get the auditing of the IRS is able to audit these in real time. You not only are able to audit it in real time, but it almost makes it impossible to steal money out of people's accounts. Because like I said, you've got to go through the bank to move money from one account to another account. You see what I mean?
But what I don't get is, how do they have 3-second transfer times if all these banks need to check the transactions are okay?
Listen to this.
So with how the decentralized network works is, and how it gets and it's actually not even checking to see if these transactions are okay. The overall network's checking for these transactions. But the main reason why it gets and this is actually another crazy tech thing that people don't talk about. The main reason why it gets a 3-second transaction time is the algorithm that runs the consensus on the network is running every 5 seconds. So there's constantly a consensus algorithm between all the nodes that are constantly reading against each other every 5 seconds to get consensus. So what ends up happening is, within the 5 seconds, as you make a transaction, you're already mid-consensus for every transaction that's being made. So instead of having proof of stake, where people would put up a bunch of stake in the hopes that they operate cooperatively on the network, or proof of work, where you have the biggest computer solve the riddle first, there's just a native consensus algorithm on all the XRP nodes, and this would be all the banks that operate. And all the nodes instinctively have a native algorithm that are constantly running every 5 seconds to get consensus with each other. And XLM is also the same way too. But this consensus algorithm is the backbone to the performance of why XRP is able to be so fast. And it's actually a little bit different because XDC is also proof of work. But one of the reasons why, and I don't know if you know this too, but XDC has like a 6-second transaction time speed. And the reason why it gets its transaction speed is not because it has a native algorithm, but because it operates off of a notary system. So what ends up happening is you can choose who you want to sign your transactions based off these notaries. And I'll actually get more into this when I get into Corda. But the notaries can not only be other companies, other nodes on the network, but they can also be regulators, basically notarizing regulatory clear actions that are happening on the network. So the main reason why XRP is operating so quickly is because of the native algorithm. Now, the reason why I say the banks have to operate these accounts, to operate any XRP account, anybody can start up an account. But to operate a account where you can issue underlying assets, you have to have control and rights to the underlying accounts. This is why I say this is why the banks would use it. They have one account as the bank, all the underlying accounts being the bank accounts, and then they can issue you your currency, your stock, your bond, whatever to you.
Yeah.
And then you end up getting this level of security, because if I wanted to hack your account and steal money out of your account, I couldn't do it, because
you'd have to only send it to your account or someone else's registered account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing. If let's say we both were operating off Chase Bank, and I hacked money out of your account and put it into my account. Well, Chase saw everything that just happened. They saw everything that just, so there's really no way you could hack money out of people's account when it comes to a system like this, because of how structurally sound the permissions are when setting up accounts that can issue underlying assets. Now, if you just wanted to make an account that can the reason why they need permissions to issue those underlying assets is because of how that broader gateway banking structure works. It doesn't work without that. And the reason why I say XLM would be like cash is because they don't need that broader structure. If I had $10 over here and I wanted to issue $10 worth of currency on XLM and then send it to you, I don't need a special permissions to do so. But if I want to run a banking organization on XRP, I do. But that's only for underlying assets. If I just wanted to send you XRP, I could go make an XRP account. I'll send it to your address. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Crap. What was I saying?
So that's why you believe XLM will be used more than XRP for central bank digital currencies.
I think it's going to be.
Because it's easier for them to.
One of those things where, it's
a lot less hassle.
In a general sense, I don't know who would end up being bigger. It comes down to how you want to look at these markets. who has a bigger market? I think Stellar is going to be used, like I said, central bank digital currencies is going to be the number one use case for XLM and Stellar. I think XRP is going to be used as a back-end bank settlement token in regards to not only cross-border remittances, but domestic remittances. So when, like I said before at the beginning, where I said,
because everyone's forgetting the domestic remittances market. Everyone's talking about the 50 trillion cross-border, but within each country, there's more trillions, especially like in the US and. Yeah,
it's practically the banking system. Yeah, it's practically the financial system. And that's the thing. Remember, I was telling you how slow it is, and for every $100 that they have that you may have in your bank account, they only have one on demand. Well, this essentially solves that problem, because what ends up happening is instead of having, like you said before, instead of having to worry about being able to. One, if you need to borrow that money, you can get it instantly. You don't have to spend however many days it takes to send the money. But two, when someone asks for their money, you don't have to go, oh, give me a second for me to get this payment that's already on the way to come through. Their payments become instant. So a typical transaction that, let's say you're a bank and you wanted to pass a $50 million transaction, and it took 4 days to do so from all the different things that have to come play to move that money. Well, it would take a couple seconds. If you want to move billions of dollars, it take a couple seconds. So that all that clogged up piping in the financial system, from how slow money's moving around from bank to bank, institution to institution, merchant to merchant, merchant to bank, all these different moving parts will now be able to move up freely, quickly, and effectively with XRP, and not only between currencies, but between primarily derivatives. So it's almost like this.
Listen,
I think XRP will be used for digital currencies, but not public digital currencies. Almost like the same way where banks may deal with each other in bonds. They may make a purchase in $1 billion in bonds. People aren't going to buy their house in bonds, but I think they may end up treating the bond market in XRP so they can treat those bonds like cash. Where the regular user, the same way that you're not going to accept just like bonds in the banking's eyes is the same as cash, except you get some sort of return on them. That's the thing, though. If you're going to be using it as cash, it doesn't mean it's the same thing as cash. So it's almost like we're going to have this front-end, back-end cash system of the back-end domestic and cross-border remittance cash system to move cash that way, and then the front-end cash system, which is basically going to be like me sending you $5.
This guy is laying down fire. Now I want you to hear here, just moving it to here, and there's only 2 more clips to hear. They're very short, but I'm going to tell you something. This guy is laying it down, explaining XRP and XLM, how they work in the new financial system. Whoa!
To the private ledgers, and to actually get a crazy thing about that. What I said before, when it comes to like the accounts where the bank has their account and they have all those underlying accounts, that's exactly what I mean when it comes to private. Those are private ledgers. Every single one of those. Every time I say that a bank has XRP and they have all those underlying XRP accounts, those are all private ledgers that they're operating off of. And the main portion of the private ledger is they're able to do internal accounting without it being on the public blockchain. Even though they're getting all the utility and all the use case from the public blockchain, they're still able to get that private accounting within their users' accounts on that private ledger.
Get some of that. And let's move here to the last clip here at 20 minutes. And it's just about a minute or so here. And listen to what he says here about the effects of the new financial system and the use of liquidity tokens like XLM and XRP, and basically how the Fed could, in his speculation and just looking forward, could absorb a lot of these other banks out here, and other central banks as well could do the same.
And acquisitions within the banks.
Oh yeah, there always is. Every crisis there always is, and it's mostly because one bank's going down, and if this bank goes down, they can't pay this bank, so they end up merging together so they don't lose money. But then this always happens, and it's one of those things too where if a bank were to go down, there's accounts that would be totally destroyed. There'd be giant economic impacts with that too. So you're gonna see mergers and acquisitions up the wazoo. See, here's the thing. The real question is not who's doing the mergers and acquisitions, but what are those banks considered after the mergers and acquisitions? Because you may end up seeing one big acquisition into the Federal Reserve, where there's the Federal Reserve, and then there's all the little commercial banks that really are just the Federal Reserve. They're just operating as
different
brand.
names.
Yeah, basically. Basically. That's the thing, you got to remember, this is all one network. Do you think each bank needs their own traditional SQL database for payments if they're all operating off XRP? And if they're all using XRP and they're all using the XRP ledger, then what's the difference between Bank of America's banks or databasing and Chase Bank's databasing? There is no difference. They're both using XRP.
There you have it. A Corda developer revealing how XRP and XLM work in the new financial system. And guess what? It is the new financial system. Again, shout out to Matty GTV.
There you have it, straight from the man himself. Wasn't that good? Hope you liked that. Hey, like and follow. You guys have a good day.